Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, we need to take a look at a card that in a very, very literal sense of the word, could actually break the Pokemon trading card game. How weird is that? We need to actually look at a pair of cards today. I'm afraid one card in this video will not do. We're looking at Shedinja and Ninjask, and of course they very much are a pair of Pokemon, well, however you look at it. So having a look at them as a pair does seem about right. Now, we do have to start off with Ninjask, and we have a look here, and what we've got is a 60 HP basic Pokemon, which is frankly absolutely terrible. Having said that, Pidgeotto does as well, so it's not unprecedented. And this has low HP, but it still sucks. The free retreat I do really like, that's a handy bonus. A weakness to fire because of Welded X, etc. But come on. I mean, to be fair, there are actually things out there like Volcanion that only has 2 energy that will get a KO where they would otherwise miss. So this might actually be relevant. And you're a grass Pokemon, which means Rillaboom to accelerate energy, but that's not going to be terribly relevant, honestly. It does mean you could use Turffield Stadium to search this out, which is actually really cool and a handy bonus. So yay! There's that. And there is an attack, but let's not get too excited about it. 1 grass energy, 30 damage, heal 30. Well, 30 healing, 30 for a single energy is fine. I'd quite like it on a basic. I don't love it on a stage 1. I also don't love healing 30 on a 60 HP Pokemon. Like, how often are you actually going to have damage on here but not be KO'd? I mean, I suppose if you use, like, Spike Muff to deliberately do it yourself and then heal it off, yeah. Or I suppose if your opponent has a Spike Muff and then you end up having a switch, and then maybe that's relevant, but come on. No, ladies and gentlemen, the reason we're playing it is for the ability Cast Off Shell. Have I mentioned our translations cover the lovely Antoine Boulet? If I haven't, I should have done. We like Antoine. So what we've got here is an ability that says once during your turn, when you play this card from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon, you may search your deck for a Shedinja and put it onto your bench. Now I get it. The low HP, the bad attack, it's not looking good. But you've got free retreat, so it can't be stuck in the active, and you can get out of the active if you start with it, etc. But also, you've then got an ability which gets a Shedinja into play straight away. So this fills up your bench a little bit faster, if that's what you're into. And also, it means that you can just get your Shedinja out nice and easily. Having said that, Shedinja should be a stage 1 Pokemon, so it shouldn't be that difficult to get out. I mean, you're not really getting Shedinja out any more easily than you would if it was just a stage 1. Honestly, you just, I don't know. It's weird, ladies and gentlemen. It's weird. Although I will say, before we look at the new Shedinja, over in the expanded format, because the one from Lost Thunder is just rotated, we will have the one from Lost Thunder, which can be attached as a tool and then gives up 1 fewer prize when KO'd. So this could be a nice way to actually get that Shedinja into play. But again, it's a stage 1 and they both evolve from Nincada, so I don't even know what advantage you're getting by doing that. It's a little bit weird, if I'm honest with you, unless you really want to fill up your bench. And then it will work nicely. As for the Shedinja, we've got even worse stats. 30 HP basic? Hang on a second. Shedinja isn't a basic Pokemon! How weird is that? Shedinja is a stage 1 Pokemon, right? We've had a bunch of Shedinja played over the years. We've had 7 different Shedinja cards, if anyone's wondering about the exact number. Starting with the first one over in EX Dragon and ending with the one we mentioned from Lost Thunder. And they've always been stage 1s because Shedinja is a stage 1 Pokemon. This one is a basic, but it cannot be played as a basic. We should probably make that quite clear. Now, to quickly finish off looking at the rest of the stats here, we've got a retreat cost of 1, which is low enough to use U-turn board, so that's quite nice. And we got no weakness or resistance because, you know, ghost. And 30 HP is absolutely over the top garbage terrible. Like, something like a Galarian Zigzagoon and a couple of scoop-up nets will go and get a KO. You cannot drop this against something like a Dragapult V Max, for instance. If your opponent evolves into an Obstagoon, they will get a one-hit KO just with the damage that they drop on the damage counters when they evolve up and use the ability. So yeah, this is terrible. And being a psychic Pokemon, I mean, look, you're not weak and you're not doing any actual damage per se, so it's all kind of irrelevant. Now, it does have an ability, and the ability doesn't really do anything. It's kind of the opposite, in fact. The ability, which according to Antoine is called Shell Bindings, this card can only be put into play with the effect of Ninjask's Cast-Off Shell Ability. And there is a note that you cannot play it while setting up. And this is the part that very literally breaks the game. Because as Antoine has pointed out, and I noticed this, but let's give Antoine credit, they did notice this, and they have been tweeting about it, and we give credit where credit's due. This is a basic Pokemon, and you cannot play it while setting up, but there is no rule that it doesn't count as a basic in your deck. Now, if you look at something like Lily's Pokédoll, for instance, that can be played as if it were a basic Pokemon, but it's not a basic Pokemon. So if you only put it in your deck, i.e. there's nothing else in your deck along those lines, you don't have a legal deck, and you will be disqualified for having a legal deck. Similarly, we could have a look at Rare Fossil, that fossil that came around in Darkness Ablaze. And Rare Fossil, again, can evolve into a Pokemon, but it is not a Pokemon. Rare Fossil is an item card, which means that if you only have that and no other basics in your deck, you have an illegal deck and you will be disqualified for having an illegal deck. But this is a basic Pokemon, so it is a perfectly legal deck to play this and 59 energy, or this and literally any number of other legal cards, but no other basics other than Shedinja, and that will be a legal deck. But even though it's a legal deck, you will never set up. You'll sit down to play, and you will essentially never draw a basic Pokemon to begin your game, because the only one you'll ever draw is Shedinja, but Shedinja's not a valid basic Pokemon to put out. So you'll never put a basic Pokemon into play, and you will never start the game. You will draw every single game you ever play, because you'll never start up. You'll run out of time, you will draw. Now, we have not had an official errata. Let's be clear, we need an official errata. This isn't one of those, no. It's, as it stands at the moment, this is the way it works. There is nothing we're missing here. This is a basic Pokemon in your deck that cannot be played as a basic Pokemon at the beginning of your game. Therefore, this is a perfectly legal strategy, and we have to have a errata. There will be an errata. I'll bring you a video when it's revealed, when it's announced. There is no chance we don't get an official ruling on this, because without an official ruling, they have literally broken the game by printing this card. How cool is that? Now, in terms of what it actually does, free colorless energy, life ring, put damage counters on your opponent's active Pokemon until it has 10 HP remaining. Now, the sad news is that even though it is a stage 1 Pokemon normally, this card is a basic, so you can use Twin Energy, but you cannot use Triple Acceleration Energy. You can use Welder, but you'll need to attach a third energy. This is doable, but if this was a stage 1, we'd be able to just go Triple Acceleration, boom, off we go. Now, as for the 10 HP remaining, it's really not a huge deal at all. We've got the aforementioned Galarian Zigzagoon that can drop a damage counter and get the KO the following turn. Or you can use anything that does poison and burn, for instance. Koga's Trap would work quite nicely here. It is a supporter card that confuses and poisons your opponent. So you play this, you put them down to 10 HP remaining, and they get KO'd. And something like a 340 HP Eternatus V Max will be one-hit KO'd instantly with this attack. But we have seen attacks like this before that ended up not being as good as we were hoping they were going to be. There was Raticate Break a little while ago. which seemed like it was going to be kind of awesome. And for 2 energy, you put damage counters on your opponent's active Pokemon until it had 10 HP remaining. We've seen attacks like this before, and they've not actually ended up being particularly amazing. Having said that, moving into a format like we are, with lots of 300 HP plus free prize Pokemon, this could be cool. You need a way to put the extra 10 damage on, and as much as I like Galarian Zigzagoon, the problem is that's not happening till next turn, and your opponent can, for instance, drop a Mallow and Lana, switch, heal off the 120, and then you've lost the opportunity to get a KO. So we really do need some kind of ability here. Something like that is needed. We've got Galarian Slowbro V. Now that is a 2-prize Pokemon admittedly, but you can essentially leave it in the active, poison your opponent's active, and then retreat it to this, do the thing, and then they end up being KO'd by poison. Of course, as much as I'm throwing out these bad ideas, just use Garbodor. Garboda's just got an ability whereby if there is a stadium in play, either you or your opponent, doesn't matter who puts it down, you can poison your opponent's active, so use Garbodor. And this with Garbodor will literally one-hit KO absolutely anything in the entire game. So that's something we should probably be keeping a little bit of an eye on here. So that's kind of cool. And I kind of like this. I don't like how awkward it is to get into play. That doesn't make me happy. I don't like the fact that I can't use triple acceleration energy, so I've got to do something else in terms of getting the energy on there. But we can use Twin Energy, we can use Welder, we can use Garbodor for the poison, and it does get a one-hit KO on literally anything. So you know what? This could be a kind of good Pokemon. I mean, it's interesting for me because it, in a very literal sense, actually breaks the game. But make no mistake about it, this is a really, really cool card. And this could be a really fun little rogue deck. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you think about this. Whoopsy score. I'm going to give it between 3 and 4 Whoossies. We don't give half Whoossies. That would be barbaric. A very fun card that could break the game, but there's definitely going to be an errata or ruling or something to say that this cannot be the only basic Pokemon in your deck. Otherwise, you can have people literally ruining tournaments and guaranteeing a draw in every game, and that won't be fun. But I think this could actually be a good tech to take down some big Pokemon. But I want to know what you think, so let me know in the comment section. Would you go nuts? Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at The Whoopsy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, or you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.